Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. 7 days to go. It's Christmas. If you're with your family, God bless. Good for you. Go fuck yourself. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. All right, pull these up. We can't stand with this shit. Sit down here like this. Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, Tommy Cutlets, Dallas Goddard, Darren Waller's back. Good for you, pal. Good to see you. These are all backup quarterbacks. Eagles D. Wandale Robinson. Darius Slayton. Jake Elliott. York is out. Gano is out. Bullock's out. Jesus. Who the fuck's kicking for the Giants? Do the Giants have a kicker? Good. Maybe it's good for the best. I fucking hate kickers. Kenny Gamewell. Jalen Hyatt. Giants defense. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Matt Breda. Daniel Bellinger. Isaiah Hodgins. And the Giant Killer, Boston Scott. Finally, Alamadi Zacchaeus. All right, here we go. Top six cards: Hertz, Brown, Smith, Barkley, Swift, DeVito. Top six cards, $15,000 deficit. Let's fucking do this. Philly, New York Giants. Here we go. Jalen Hurts completed 17 of 31 passes for 143 yards with no touchdowns and two interceptions, and the Eagles lost to the Seahawks on Monday night. He also rushed 13 times for 82 yards and two touchdowns. Hurts was a game time decision due to an illness. It worsened over the weekend and required the star signal caller to travel to Seattle separately from the rest of the team. He looked his usual self as a runner as he racked up a season high rushing yardage tally and posted his third two score effort on the ground in the last 5 games. However, Hurts' 3 and 1 yard touchdown runs couldn't make up for his poor passing effort, which included a season low 54.9 completion percentage and an average of just 4.6 yards per attempt. Hurts also had a particularly ineffective last quarter plus, leading the Eagles to just 27 yards on 10 plays across 2 drives that ended in punts and short circuiting 2 other possessions with interceptions, including a game ending one with 13 seconds remaining. Monday night's loss kept Philadelphia tied with the Cowboys atop the NFC East and was the Eagles' third straight defeat. But Hurts could be primed for a resurgent effort in a Christmas Day home matchup against the Giants next Monday. A.J. Brown brought in 5 of 7, 10 targets for 56 yards, and the Eagles lost to the Seahawks on Monday night. The star receiver tied Devontae Smith for the team lead in receptions while pacing the Eagles in receiving yards and targets, but his numbers were naturally considered a disappointment overall. Brown was the intended receiver on Jalen Hurts' downfield heave, with 13 seconds remaining that culminated in Julian Love's game-sealing interception. Brown does have at least 5 catches in 4 consecutive games following his one reception, 8-yard outlier against the Chiefs in Week 11, but he has just 1 touchdown reception in the last 5 contests overall. The fifth-year pro could have a good chance to bounce back against the Giants in a Week 16 home matchup on Christmas Day. Hurts is on the board. Smith is on the board. Got an hour to kick off. I still got to run to 7-Eleven to get some blunt wraps. Whoever the fuck's writing to me, I already fucking came, so fuck those hookers. Devontae Smith doesn't have a designation for Monday's contest against the Giants. Smith, despite logging just one limited practice Saturday during Week 16 prep, Smith will play through his knee issue and avoid missing the first game of his 3-year career. He had confirmed as much to Zach Berman of The Athletic earlier Saturday, saying, "If I can go, I'm going to go." Smith will thus be facing a Giants defensive Monday that has allowed the sixth most catches to opposing wide receivers in 14 games this season. Giants defense on the board. Saquon Barkley rushed 9 times for 14 yards and caught both of his targets for 23 yards in Sunday's loss to the Saints. Barkley ran into a brick wall on nearly every one of his season-low 9 carries as New Orleans' dominant defense put on one of his best performances to date. Combine the tough matchup with the Giants' lack of offensive threats outside of its star running back, and you have the recipe for what transpired Sunday. Fantasy managers who benefited from Barkley's best fantasy game of the season against the Packers in Week 14 likely had to suffer the superstar's worst output in their following playoff matchup. Yeah, fuck off, because that's what happened to James Cook. James Cook carried me into the playoffs and then fucking left me there. Things will get easier for the Giants and Barkley in Week 16 as they draw another tough defense in Philadelphia for a holiday edition of Monday Night Football. Eagles D on the board. DeAndre Swift, 18 rushes for 74 yards and brought in 2 of 3 targets for 1 yard, and the Eagles lost to the Seahawks on Monday night. Swift had only 5 more carries than Jalen Hurts, but the running back's tally still tied for the second highest of the season. His yardage haul was the third over 770 in his last 5 games as well, and Swift was able to get back on the stat sheet as a pass catcher, albeit modestly, after being blanked in that department against the Cowboys in Week 14. Swift next takes aim at the poorest Giants run defense in a Week 16 matchup on Christmas Day. One he'll enter 104 yards shy of his first 1,000-yard campaign. That's 2 for Hurts, 2 for the Giants D. Tommy Cutlets completed 20 of 34 passes for 177 yards with no touchdowns or turnovers while rushing for 36 yards on 4 attempts in Sunday's loss to New Orleans. The Giants' entire offense struggled to generate much of anything on the road against one of the league's top defensive units. DeVito felt the brunt of Sunday's thrashing, getting sacked 7 times and absorbing a late hit on one of his 4 rushing attempts that left the quarterback laid out, needing medical attention. New York's popular undrafted rookie was able to return and finish the contest, but the end result was a mediocre fantasy line and a losing effort. Assuming DeVito suffered no ill effects from the borderline dirty hit, they'll be likely back under center for another tough matchup against the Eagles next Monday night. All right, down to the deck, and don't stop till we hit Mr. Goddard. Now, who the Eagles play? They played the Seahawks. Monday was the 18th. So if it ain't on the 18th, we ain't fucking reading it. Tyree Jackson. Noah Togai. Ryan Jones. Dylan Drummond. Gunner. Lou Nichols. Deion Jackson. Eric Gray. Hey, Lorenzo Calcaterra, writer of the book Sleepers. Fine film starring Brad Pitt and Jason Patrick. Paris Campbell. Inactive against the Saints. That's before the game. Fuck off. Sterling Shepard. No. We need the 18th. This means if they didn't play in the game, I don't need to read that they weren't doing shit before the game. It fucks up the stats. Jack Stoll. Al Okawokaboom. Inactive for Philly's game versus the again, it's before. You didn't play in a fucking game, I don't want to hear from you. Joseph Nakata. Greg Ward. They didn't do something in that game, they're not relevant. Gary Brightwell practiced full Thursday. Brightwell was designated to return from IR Wednesday, and Thursday marked his first practice with the team since suffering a hamstring injury Week 7 against the Commanders. The 24-year-old could return Monday against the Eagles, but considering the amount of time the Arizona product has missed, the Giants may wait until Week 17 against the Rams to bring Brightwell back into the fold. Well, then go fuck yourself. Lawrence Cager, listed as questionable ahead of Monday's game against the Eagles. Cager seems to have suffered a groin injury at some point within the last week, but even after consecutive DNPs to open the Giants' week of practice, he's got a shot at suiting up Week 16. If the 26-year-old were to miss Monday's affair, Daniel Bellinger and Darren Waller would likely stand as the only tight ends active for New York. Why does that seem like a big deal? Waller and Bellinger on the board. Julio Jones, nothing. There really wasn't any $200 guys that we liked, so that's going to be a problem. Penny inactive. See again. If he didn't play in a fucking game, I don't need to hear from him. Quez Watkins did not record a reception in Monday's loss to the Seahawks. Watkins was on the field for more than half the Eagles' offensive snaps, but Jalen Hurts looked his way just once and failed to complete the pass. Watkins has now gone catchless 2 weeks in a row in 4 of his 7 games in total this season. That's 3 for Hurts. Keep going. And now we're in possible captain territory. Olamide Zacchaeus didn't log any targets in Sunday's loss to the Niners. What old fucking news? Fuck your mother. Boston Scott, the giant killer, almost exclusively limited to special teams Monday against the Seahawks, seeing the field just for a single offensive snap. Scott went without a touch on offense in Monday's loss, something that happened on 3 previous occasions this season. He hasn't played more than 10 offensive snaps in any game this year, so he doesn't appear close to fantasy-relevant role. Except when they play the Giants. But they haven't played the Giants yet this year, so you don't have the reference. They played them twice. Now, and then Week 18. Isn't that a bag of dicks, huh? Isaiah Hodgins. The Giants added Hodgins to their Week 16 injury report to list him as questionable for Monday night's game against the Eagles due to an illness. Hodgins will look to rest up and recover from the ailment Sunday before the Giants reassess Monday whether they'll be able in any condition to play the Eagles. The 25-year-old receiver ended the 2022 campaign as a starter for the Giants, but he's dropped a couple of rungs down the depth chart in 2023 and has been limited to 17 catches for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns on 28 targets through New York's first 14 games of the season. Yeah. I don't think he's keeping his captain's chair. Daniel Bellinger caught both of his targets for 13 yards in Sunday's Week 15 loss to New Orleans. Bellinger worked as New York's starting tight end while Waller was on IR with an hamstring injury between weeks 9 and 14, but he returned to backup role with the latter returning Sunday. Bellinger averaged a modest 2.2 receptions for 27.6 yards during his 5-game starting stint, but he wasn't far off those numbers while working behind Waller against the Saints. Waller appeared to come out of the contest in good health, so Bellinger should again see limited receiving opportunities next Monday against the Eagles. That's 2 for Waller. Matt Breida doesn't have an injury designation for Monday's game against the Eagles. Breida upgraded to full practice participant Friday after a pair of limited sessions. He'll likely continue to fill a reserve role behind Saquon Barkley on Sunday against the stout Eagles front. Barkley is on the board, and that is 2 for the Eagles D. Giants D, Jalen Hyatt caught 5 of 6 targets for 109 yards in Sunday's win over the Patriots. Hyatt got free downfield for 4 catches of 29 and 41 yards en route to a career high in receiving yards. Fellow deep threat Darius Slayton was active after being doubtful heading into Sunday's game, but was limited to 16 yards on 3 targets, while Hyatt capitalized on his increased role with the best game of his rookie season. The Giants' 3rd-round selection. Am I reading an old fucking news? Patriots motherfucking cunt. Fuck you, Jalen Hyatt. Kenny Gainwell rushed 6 times for 21 yards in Monday's loss to the Eagles. Seahawks. Gainwell's 6 carries marked his highest total since Week 7, but he also went without a reception for the 2nd time in a row. He remains the clear second running back to DeAndre Swift, and neither his average of 29.7 yards from scrimmage per game nor his 2 total touchdowns of the season are particularly useful fantasy purposes. Oof. DeAndre Swift on the board. Randy Bullock placed on injured reserve Thursday. Bullock will miss the Giants' final 3 games of the season after he suffered a right hamstring injury on a kickoff during the first quarter of past Sunday's loss to the Saints. The Giants plan to elevate Cade York from the practice squad ahead of their Week 16 contest in Philly, and he'll become the team's third-place kicker of the season after Bullock previously stepped in to replace the injured Graham Gano. Over his 6 games as the Giants' kicker, Bullock converted 5 of 6 field goal tries and went 10 for 10 on point-after attempts. Fucking kicker. Fucking kickers. My kingdom for a kicker. He ain't playing. He's out. That kicker ain't fucking playing. Cade York placed on injured practice squad reserve Friday due to a quadricep injury. The 22-year-old looked on track to serve as the Giants' kicker for the final 3 games of the season, as Randy Bullock was recently placed on injured reserve. However, York suffered a quad injury in Thursday's practice that also keep him sidelined for the rest of the season. With Cade York, Graham Gano also on IR with Bullock, the Giants signed Mason Crosby to the practice squad Friday. He's expected to be elevated to the active roster ahead of Monday's game against the Eagles, and presumably will keep the Giants' kicking job for Week 17 and 18. So we got no kicker. No kicker on the Giants squad. Jake Elliott made his lone field goal attempt in both of his extra points in Monday's loss to the Seahawks. The Eagles' offense has been stuck in a rut in recent weeks, scoring less than 20 points in 3 straight games, all of which have resulted in losses. Elliott made a pair of field goals in the first 2 games of the losing streak, but his only attempt in Monday's contest was an easy 27-yarder. Darius Slayton, 4 receptions on 8 targets for 63 yards in Sunday's loss to Nolans. Slayton finished as the Giants' leading receiver on a low-volume passing day, producing modest fantasy results in the process. The 63 yards represented the number 1/3 highest yardage total through 14 games this season, highlighting how anemic the Giants' offense has been in 2023. Slayton should continue to operate as New York's top receiver against Philadelphia next Monday, but his fantasy appeal remains limited to those in deeper formats. Damn. Wan'Dale Robinson corralled all 4 of his targets for 25 yards in Sunday's loss to the Saints. No player on the Giants posted gaudy numbers Sunday, but Robinson can hang his hat on doing his part by catching every target thrown his way in the rough loss. The 22-year-old has failed to corral just 5 of his targets over his last 6 contests while maintaining a steady starting role. Despite his recent improved play, Robinson remains a deep league option for next Monday night's matchup against the Eagles. Eagles D, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Barkley, old fucking news. Tyrod Taylor. Taylor completed 2 of 4 passes for 13 yards Sunday's loss to the Saints. Taylor was activated off IR ahead of last week's contest against the Packers, but he didn't get on the field in New York's victory. Tommy DeVito worked behind center in that contest and did so again against New Orleans on Sunday. Taylor got the chance to run the offense near the end of the first half after DeVito was injured on a scramble. Taylor managed to complete 2 passes to get the Giants deeper into Saints territory, but the key with punter Jamie Gillen taking over for the injured Randy Bullock as the team's place kicker. Gillen converted a 40-yard field goal to end the half, but that was the extent of Taylor's opportunity, as DeVito was available to return after halftime. Head coach Brian Dable confirmed after the loss that DeVito will remain New York's starting quarterback moving forward, so Taylor will continue to work as the undrafted rookie's backup. Tommy DeVito is on the board. Marcus Mariota, who almost started. Fuck him. Tanner McKee is inactive for Monday's game versus the Seahawks, but will serve as Philadelphia's emergency quarterback now. That doesn't count. Gotta have been in the fucking game, not before the game. Everything up to that fucking game we don't read. Like Daniel fucking Jones being all fucked up. Darren Waller caught 4 of 6 targets for 40 yards in Sunday's loss to the Saints. Waller returned from a 5-game stint on injured reserve and finished as the Giants' second leading receiver, ahead of the Saints. The receiving tight end did not appear to be limited in terms of playing time or ability in the one-sided loss. This was also the first time we saw him receiving passes from undrafted rookie Tommy DeVito. Waller's final line was right around the averages, and we saw Daniel Jones was getting him the ball early this year. More of the same could be expected when the Giants faced the Bears. Am I reading an old fucking story? No, they meant to write the Eagles. Okay. Giants faced the Eagles. That's 2 for DeVito. Finally, Dallas Goedert secured 4 of 9 targets for 30 yards, and the Eagles lost to the Seahawks on Monday night. Goddard finished with the second most targets on the night for the Eagles, yet did little with them, leading to his second straight 430-0 line. The veteran tight end's target total tied a season high, but Goddard now has been at 50 receiving yards or less in 4 straight contests, heading into a Week 16 home matchup against the Giants on Christmas Day. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's tally the votes. 3 for Hurts, 2 for the Eagles, 2 for DeVito, 2 for the Giants, 2 for Waller. Everybody else got 1s. We got our 5. Do this shit right. Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. First things first, I won $5,000 on opening day with a Hertz slaughter stack, so I got to run that first. It was Hertz, Smith, it was Sanders, but we got Swift instead. It was Goddard, and it was whoever the third receiver was. Who's third on the depth chart here now? I believe it's Olamide Zacchaeus. Because last time it was Jalen Rieger. Quez fucking Watkins. Oh, wow. Quez Watkins. Which leaves me Wandale or Slayton. Slayton was the lead guy. We're gonna have to run two Eagles slaughter stacks. That one has Slayton, so we need one with Wandale Robinson. Zacchaeus, we might keep a captain. Boston Scott, I don't think so. Hodgins, yeah, he's out. Give me another Hurts here. Give me Hurts, Brown, Swift, Goddard. Eagles D. There's nobody down there I could use. Paris Campbell. Nah, he ain't doing shit. Nah, get rid of this. We took Wandale rest. We took give me Wandale, give me Fotheringham. There we go. Said Fotheringham, motherfucker. Where is he? Where's Fotheringham? Did we not see a guy named Fotheringham? Was this a different team I'm thinking of here? Oh, Fotheringham was a Raider. The fuck, I'm a schmuck. Get rid of Brown here. Give me Swift. Smith. I'd like to go get Waller, but we're not going to do that. So this will be Rondale and Boston Scott. Yes, the Giant Killer. I want the Giant Killer. Wait a minute. So we can get rid of Swift. We do one more Hertz slaughter stack. Do one more Hertz slaughter stack. No Bellinger. He ain't doing shit in this fucking game. All right, we're going to do Hertz, Brown, Smith, Boston Scott. Fuck Goddard. Well, Goddard's a beast when he has to be, when he wants to be. Eagles D to get to DeVito. Darius fucking Slayton. Bang, there we go. 3 Eagles slaughter stacks. in case the Eagles just walk in and just fucking pimp smack the fucking Giants up and down. We're not doing Matt Breda. So Hurts. Now get back to our original thing here. It's Hurts, double defense, DeVito and Waller. DeVito, Waller, Eagles, Giants. Who we got available? Goddard. Do it. Do it, did it, done. All right. A.J. Brown at the top. Hurts, DeVito, Waller, double fucking defense. We can't even get double defense. We get the Eagles D here, but we don't get the Giants D. Look at that shit. We can't even afford it. So who's going to come in? Who's going to be our 6 card? None of these guys I liked. I didn't like any of these 6 cards. So is Penny going to fucking play? This guy doesn't do shit. Hmm. What if he took the Giants defense for the fuck of it, for the crazy contrarian possibilities of it? You get Brader, Bellinger. I mean, that's not worth it. No, that's Boston Scott. Boston Scott's a giant killer. He took Boston Scott here, right? What do you got? Get the kicker. Or Slayton. Get the kicker. Elliott always finds his way into a winning lineup. So we're going to cut the defenses out of that one. However, this one we're going to do, and we're going to take out Waller. Who else is expendable? Olamide, I feel like we can keep him. Scott, if he's a giant killer, he's a giant killer. Jalen Hyatt. All right, Gainwell. We can ditch Gainwell. Give me another A.J. Brown, but with Waller instead of DeVito. There we go. Give me Hurts. Give me both defenses. Eagles, Giants, and what do we got left? We got enough for Slayton. Is it Slayton or is it Wandale? God damn it, man. Deep league option. I think Slayton's the guy. Is it worth running A.J. Brown in one more lineup just yanking somebody's ass out? Elliott, Slayton, Robinson, all these guys are captains. Waller, get rid of one more captain. Boston Scott doesn't need to be a captain. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Waller, both defenses, Eagles, Giants, and this time we take Wandale. This way we're covered. A.J. Brown's enough of a beast that he could be a captain a couple of times. Boom! All right. Devontae Smith, give him Hurts. Give him DeVito. Give him Waller. Give him the Eagles. Can we get the Giants D? We just miss it. But we do get Boston Scott. Saquon Barkley. So there we go. Hurts, DeVito, Waller, Eagles. We just missed the Giants D. But we're getting Boston Scott. Boston Scott is a giant killer. DeAndre Swift. All right. Hurts, DeVito, Waller. Except that's Daniel Jones. Waller. Eagles D. Do we get the Giants D? We just managed to get it now. All right. Rock on. Tommy DeVito, along with Hurts, Waller, Eagles D. Giants D. What do we got left? Barkley or Swift? Ooh, fuck me in the goat ass here. Give me one with Barkley. I'm going to knock out Jalen Hyatt. Yeah, Jalen Hyatt can go. Give me another DeVito. DeVito up top, along with Waller, Hertz, Eagles D, Giants D, and DeAndre Swift. Both 6 cards are covered. Both running backs are covered. All right, where are we? Goddard. So Hertz, DeVito, Waller, Eagles D. And we got room to play. You don't got to go Giants D here. I'm thinking we can move up. Robinson, Slayton, but we're going to eliminate both those receivers and go right to the kicker. Darren Waller, along with DeVito and Hertz and the double D. With 10-6 left over, who do we get? Devontae fucking Smith, you betcha. Should we go 2 Wallers, do one with Smith and one with Brown? I think so. And we're going to lose Zacchaeus. This was what? Who was up top? This is Waller. So now we'll do Waller with A.J. Brown. We'll yank the Giants D. So this will be Waller, along with DeVito, Hertz, Brown. Let's do Giants D. And we get the kicker. Ooh, Slayton, though. Slayton. No! Yeah, Slayton the Beast. What do we got? Eagles D, we like that, along with Hertz. We will skip DeVito on this one. And go Giants D. Actually, I think we should take DeVito. Just keep it as a low scoring A and A.J. Brown. It's a weird lineup, but it's weird enough to work. Okay, now we got Wandale, along with Hertz, DeVito, Waller, Eagles, and Swift. Over Giants D. Slayton. It's pretty much going to be a similar lineup, I think. Hertz, DeVito, Waller, Eagles D, and Barkley. And Elliott, Hertz, DeVito, Waller, Eagles D, Devontae Smith. And finally, the Giants, along with Hertz, DeVito, Waller, Eagles D, A.J. Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, that's as weird as it gets. May fate and fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money right here on the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. 7 days to go. 7 backers away from an even 200. $3,000 away from the lifestyle. $3,107. Make it happen. Peace. Love.